Coming up on MilCyberSync, the Department of Defense is looking to achieve a new level of cybersecurity.
Also ahead, the Pentagon working to remove obstacles for the hundreds of thousands of small to medium-sized innovators hoping to contract with the DoD. Those stories and more, so get ready to get in sync with MilCyberSync.
You're watching the MilCyberSync podcast with Nick Thomas and Layla Guland. This Veterans Day, we recognize the many generations of brave Americans who have served our nation in uniform. Selfless men and women have answered the call to serve throughout the nation's history, whether in peacetime or on the battlefield. Generation after generation sacrificed to defend the nation. Those who live in freedom will always be grateful to those who helped preserve it. Ours is a country filled with promise for tomorrow, because ours is a history shaped by heroes. The MCPA gives a Veterans Day salute for serving in the proud and honorable tradition of the United States military.
Hello and welcome to the MilCyberSync podcast, reporting on the latest events happening in cyber news. I'm Layla Guland with your host, Nick Thomas. Hi, Nick.
Hey, Layla, how are you doing today?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. And hey, this is just a reminder, if you're listening to us on your favorite podcast app, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you're watching us on your YouTube channel, on our YouTube channel that is, click on that notification bell for our latest posts. All right, and with that, Tuesday's election proved to be fairly quiet on the cyber attack front. CISA says only a few isolated cyber attacks targeting state and local election websites were noted. CISA worked closely with state and local jurisdictions to help officials successfully detect and deter cyber threats, as well as better respond to threats of violence made against election officials. 14 states also activated their National Guard cybersecurity teams to help secure voting-related systems from digital intrusion. A Russian hacking group took responsibility for an attack on Mississippi's Secretary of State website, and in Illinois, connectivity issues and outages were reported and believed to be a cyber attack on the network and their servers. Layla.
Well, CISA has released a set of documents to guide prioritization of software vulnerability remediation by agencies and other organizations. Agencies are under a binding operational directive to receive and address vulnerability reports from security researchers within specific timelines and are deciding what evidence they might require from software vendors attesting to secure development practices. But use of the guidance is largely contingent on vendors providing the information necessary to conduct such a process. CISA has come up with its catalog of hundreds of known exploitable vulnerabilities, which agencies are also required to reference when applying a framework for addressing weaknesses they already know are in their enterprises. The prioritization system CISA released for managing vulnerabilities instructs users to assess 5 factors: exploitation status, technical impact, automobility, mission prevalence, and public well-being impact. Nick.
A new cloud-based common infrastructure of artificial intelligence hubs is being developed through the Office of the Undersecretary of Defense for Research and Engineering. Officials have chosen 3 major AI hubs to each focus on specific areas: image processing, signal processing, and modeling and reasoning. These hubs and the overarching ecosystem will provide Defense Department teams with one common testing and evaluation capability for the emerging technology. The Pentagon's R&E Directorate is now working closely with the DoD's Testing Resource Management Center to stand up the new hubs, as well as the NASCENT Chief Digital and AI Office to confront duplication or deficiencies spotted in the broad enterprise along the way that could impact deployments down the line. Once fully realized, officials envision an AI-driving ecosystem that unites the Pentagon's operational R&D communities to more seamlessly share data and experiment in common model repositories. Layla.
Well, the Department of Defense's soon-to-be published Zero Trust strategy will give the public a fresh look at its plan to achieve a new level of cybersecurity. The strategy will lay out the Pentagon's approach to realizing zero trust, which comprises more than 100 activities and so-called pillars, including applications, automation, and analytics to keep critical data secure. Zero trust is a new paradigm for cybersecurity, one that assumes networks are always at risk. As a result, continuous validation of users and devices is needed. The practice is often likened to never trust, always verify, or as they put it, you truly trust no one or no thing. The pivot to active defense and inherent distrust comes now that the U.S. faces cyber-savvy world powers like China and Russia, who have histories of digital aggressiveness. Nick.
Microsoft has pledged to extend its backing for Ukraine's extraordinary wartime innovation through the end of the year. The tech giant's financial commitment of more than $400 million enables the Ukraine government and other organizations to continue using the Microsoft Cloud and its public data centers across Europe. Cloud technology offers resilience and security for Ukraine operations after Russia targeted Ukrainian data centers with airstrikes when it invaded more than 8 months ago. Amazon has also been helping Ukraine with cloud storage. Additionally, Microsoft is working with the U.S. Army on AI and image recognition. AI has even been more potential in the war, while the huge role drones have played, including patrolling front lines that stretch hundreds of miles, is still being expanded. Layla?
Well, NATO's 2022 Cyber Defense Pledge Conference was held in Rome and aims at maintaining a united front amid ongoing hostilities between Russia and Ukraine. This year's specific focus is resilience, preparedness, and responsiveness to cyber threats to critical infrastructure. Representatives from participating countries, which include all NATO member nations, will review NATO efforts to improve those nations' threat analytics and response, as well as initial resilience. NATO has been conducting regular cyber defense training and highlighted both Italy and U.S. as allies with strong cyber defenses, specifically citing President Joe Biden's recent legislation to better monitor ransomware attacks. Companies such as Microsoft and Amazon Cloud Software have provided a safe haven for Ukraine ministerial data, while YouTube and other social media companies have been taking stricter content moderation stances on Russian material. Well, before we go to break, if you're listening to us on your favorite podcast app, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you're watching on YouTube, click on that notification bell for our latest post related to everything military, cyber, and cybersecurity.
Also, if you'd like to donate to the MCPA, it's easy with Amazon Smile. If you click on the link below, you can start shopping and a portion of your purchase goes to the MCPA at no extra cost to you. Plus, we're proud to take part in the world's largest and most successful annual workplace charity, the Combined Federal Campaign. Our CFC code is 10386, and we appreciate your support.
When we come back, experts say the DoD's current capabilities are behind the times, what it's doing to keep up on the world stage. We'll have that story more after the break, but now please enjoy this message from one of our sponsors.
Today's network and security monitoring solutions are vulnerable to overload situations that lead to decreased visibility and undetected intrusions. Monitoring applications require hardware to keep up with real-time traffic analysis, making it complex and costly. Your security monitoring solutions may be unable to keep up during cyber attacks or traffic spikes, making intrusion more likely. A new approach is needed to increase network protection and visibility. Axellio simplifies and streamlines your network monitoring for critical security, network, and application analysis. Learn more at axellio.com.
Welcome back. Top Pentagon IT and acquisition officials have been tasked with finding and rooting out obstacles that are keeping startups and other small companies from scaling and sustaining innovative technologies when working with the Department of Defense. They have been asked to look for hindrances when small innovative companies try to move from piloting a technology capability to fielding it at a large scale with the department. Those challenges lead to what is well known in the defense space as the Valley of Death, the phenomenon where the Pentagon's bureaucratic, often slow-moving acquisition system can stifle successful innovative pilots from moving forward into production. DoD's Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certification Program requires all contractors that handle the department's controlled, unclassified information to be certified to do so, or risk losing their opportunity to bid on contracts. Many small companies have expressed concern that CMMC will put such onerous requirements on them that they will be forced to stop working with the DoD. Officials say they are moving more work, willing to work with small and medium businesses and take the obstacle course out of the equation. Layla?
The Department of Defense is working to play catch-up with Russia and China by further incorporating information operations and information warfare into its strategy. Experts say the DoD's current capabilities are behind the times and losing the information warfare fight. The DoD has recently taken steps to begin shining the light on information operations, including highlighting its importance in the newly updated National Defense Strategy. The department is also still working to meet several mandates Congress directed in the fiscal 2020 National Defense Authorization Act. Part of the concern for Congress and others is the confusion of lexicon. Information warfare more broadly encompasses a raft of capabilities such as information operations, cyber, electronic warfare, psychological operations, and others. However, there is no set definition for the term. Nick.
The future of Army cyber was the hot topic at a panel held by the Association of the United States Army at its annual meeting last month in Washington, D.C. The U.S. Army's top cyber, intelligence, and signal officers joined a U.S. Senator, the Army's chief civilian cyber advisor, and a cyber company executive to discuss information advantage and the threats that exist today and anticipated in the future. Among the biggest concern is the speed of America's adversaries in exploiting cyber vulnerabilities, as well as how best to communicate with government officials about what American companies are supposed to accept when it comes to cyber attacks from foreign governments. The panel also discussed the state and future of information advantage. Lieutenant General John Morrison is the Army Deputy Chief of Staff, G6, and says he's going to try and simplify information advantage by making sure the military is unified in all aspects of the network. Layla?
Well, the Army has a long road ahead despite making progress on processing and accessing data for faster and better decision making. While this year's capstone Project Convergence experiment saw improvement in standardizing data compared to last year's event, experts say they still need to keep working on how to standardize the data so that they're able to access it and share it across services and platforms. Project Convergence is an annual experiment put on by the Army to test the interoperability of systems across the service, as well as the other services and multinational partners. It is the Army's contribution to the Pentagon's push for Joint All-Domain Command and Control, which envisions how systems across the entire battle space could be more tightly networked and connected to provide the right data to commanders on faster timelines. Nick.
And finally, a big celebration for the United States Marine Corps. The MCPA and MilCyberSync would like to take this moment to wish the Marine Corps a happy 247th birthday. The U.S. Space Command made this video in its honor.
Marines, the amphibious warfighters. They are rich with the heritage of selfless service, fidelity to the Corps, each other, and our nation. Marines always answer the call, from defending our shores and liberties through the air, land, or sea, to delivering comfort and aid for everyone that is in need. For those who earn the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor are part of a long and proud heritage of fighters who have never turned from a threat, never turned from an enemy, who will always remain most ready when our nation is least ready. Today, Space Command would like to congratulate the U.S. Marine Corps on 247 years of dedication and selfless service to our great nation and our allies, and for their role in ensuring there is never a day without space.
Well, happy birthday to the Marine Corps indeed. Well, if you're in the car listening and would rather watch, be sure to check us out on our YouTube channel. Find us at Military Cyber Professionals Association or MilCyber.org for all our content related to all things military, cyber, and cybersecurity. And be sure to like and subscribe and click on that notification bell for our latest posts.
Also, if you'd like to donate to the MCPA, there are two easy ways. The first is with Amazon Smile, and by clicking the link below, you can start shopping and a portion of your purchase will go to MCPA at no extra cost to you. The second way is through the Combined Federal campaign. Even $1 will greatly help our mission. Our CFC code is 10386, and we thank you so much for your support.
Thank you. And that's going to do it for us. We want to thank you for watching and listening. You are now in sync with MilCyberSync. We'll see you again next week.
This has been the MilCyberSync podcast, brought to you by the Military Cyber Professionals Association. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast app, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you're watching us on YouTube, click on the notification bell for our latest posts.